Moving on to movie topics.
Oh, this is a fun one, right, Ian?
Yes, this open letter. Holy shit, this is scathing. So, Gracie Law, an ex-employee at Warner Brothers.
Well, Ian, do you know what the significance of the Gracie Law name?
No, I don't.
You would if you had seen that Blu-ray of Big Trouble in Little China, because Gracie Law is one of the main characters.
Oh, I see.
That's the Kim Cattrall character.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, that's right. Right. Okay, someone did explain that to me. I'll get
Watch that movie,
I'll
Ian.
get there. Shit.
What the hell is Gracie Law doing here? Anyway, go on.
Anyway, a former employee at WB wrote an open letter, not so much to Zack Snyder, really, but to Kevin Tsujihara, the head of Warner Brothers Studios, taking out her frustrations and her anger on basically the studio's direction and basically the slaps in the face to the people who have been working there and doing their jobs well, who have been punished by layoffs and the lack of promotion, raises, things like that, while the higher ups, the directors, the quote unquote storytellers, are allowed to continuously bomb and tank properties. The quote that she takes the biggest problem with comes in the intro to this letter, this memo that was sent to everyone during a period of layoffs. I want you to hear directly, this is from Kevin Tsujihara. I want you to hear directly from me about our plans for the studio. In recent days, we have started to hear rumors here at the company, to read misinformation in the press, so I'd like to set the record straight. I know that the hard work and dedication of every employee around the world is the key to Warner Brothers' success, and I'm sorry for the distraction this situation brings to the workplace. At Warner Brothers, we work with the world's most extraordinary storytellers, and our fuck you! And our focus has always been to provide the creative environment and financial resources they need to realize their vision. I'm fucking throwing up in my mouth. Our commitment to that won't change. In fact, we're investing more than ever in our film and television productions. That's called doubling down on a fucking sinking ship, and it's insulting to everyone who's fucking worried about how they're going to make their car payment, how they're going to feed their families, how they're going to pay for their houses. That's disgusting, and that's where she's taking her most that's where she's most of her anger is coming from. She's upset as a fan, that Warner Brothers keeps swinging and missing at these properties that they should be easily knocking out of the park. But the biggest problem is that people like Zack Snyder are allowed to fucking fail time and time again, and are continuously given money to fail while people underneath lose their jobs to free up money for these people to fail more.
Yeah, let's get into that. We're not talking. This started way before, or let's say it coincided with Zack Snyder doing Man of Steel.
Right. This letter. She originally wrote this letter when Man of Steel came out, and then shelved it.
And remember, that underperformed.
Yes,
it may have lost money, but that underperformed.
Yes.
For a big Superman movie, the most famous superhero. Come on.
But it wasn't just that. It was also other movies around that time that she was pissed about.
And we're going to talk about some of those right now.
Yes.
Because I have them all up. Let's go back to the Hobbit movies. The Hobbit movies did not do extremely well.
No.
They didn't maybe lose a lot of money. They underperformed. I remember that last one not making as much. Okay, here we go. The last one made the least amount. The second and third ones made looks like far less than the first one did. Remember, they split those into 3 movies.
They were originally going to do 2, and then they decided to do 3.
I fell asleep during the third movie. I fell asleep. There was no. I've fallen asleep with like 5 movies in my life.
There's only one movie I've fallen asleep during: Lost World Jurassic Park.
I've fallen asleep during the second Harry Potter movie, or no, the third Harry Potter movie, which actually one of the good ones. I fell asleep during that. I fell asleep during Hellboy.
Really?
Because I came back from a vacation, or actually a business trip from overseas, so I was just out of it. And I fell asleep during Van Helsing. Somehow, with Kate Beckinsale being in the movie, I'm not sure how I fell asleep. That movie was fucking abysmal. Those are the only movies I fell asleep with, and one of the hot movies I fell asleep for like 5-10 minutes during. So that's not to say about why I didn't make money, but let's go over some of these that just did awful business. Jupiter Ascending.
I don't even
remember that, Jim?
No.
They pushed that thing back I don't know, a year and a half.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember seeing a trailer for that movie with Mila Kunis and I'm gonna butcher his name, Channing Tatum, Channing, or the hell his name is. Hot Stuff.
Hot Lips.
So that movie made about, let's see, worldwide 183 million.
Ooh, that's great.
The budget was 176.
Good money.
When you add in marketing, it probably cost them, we'll just say, if they didn't even go out, I don't know, 240 million to do that with marketing, and they didn't make 180 million. Let's say they made half of that. So they lost a good probably 140, 150 million on Jupiter Ascending.
Oh God.
Remember Pan? Remember that reimagining of with a bald Hugh Jackman?
Yeah. Wow, that was great.
So that cost 150 million.
Oh.
The world. That's not even including marketing.
Oh.
Worldwide, 128. So they probably spent 200 million at least marketing and making that movie, and they took back probably roughly, we'll even say 70 million being considerate. They lost 130 million on Pan. Man from U.N.C.L.E. Remember that summer blockbuster from last year? We really need a Man from fucking U.N.C.L.E. remake.
Fucking watch your humor when I'm trying to take it.
What is this, the late 90s when you're doing the Avengers TV remake? You know, and stuff based off of 60s? Who the hell even knows Man from U.N.C.L.E. nowadays to make a movie from that? Anyway, budget on that one was 75 million. We'll just add in another 40 million maybe. We'll just say, okay, we'll say 125 million with marketing. Made 110 million worldwide, which means they probably took in 55, 60. So that movie lost about 60 million. Are you seeing a pattern here with Warner Brothers really just fucking it up every which way with these huge blockbuster films?
Well, people are losing their jobs.
These are tentpole releases. These aren't like, okay, we put out a movie that cost 25 million and barely made it back. These are movies losing dozens of $1 million or $100 million per. So the higher-ups make these decisions. The presidents, the CEOs, they're the ones that greenlight these movies, let them go. But they're not the ones that lose their jobs when these movies fucking fail and do awful business. They're not the ones that lose their jobs. It's people like Gracie Law.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. And so when a movie like Batman v Superman comes out, when we yell about the quality and people and not making money, there's a ramification that, not just the fact that, okay, it probably it lost $100 million probably, Batman v Superman. They said it needed to make a billion to break even at least. It made 900 million worldwide. That's a fucking failure.
Yep.
Add that to the fucking list. Suicide Squad, the past weekend, dropped precipitously in the second weekend.
Of course it did.
So this all adds up to trouble. Movie studios can fail. Remember, New Line Cinema doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Even with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, buoying it up, there's no more New Line Cinema.
I didn't even think about that. Holy crap.
You realize they don't exist anymore?
No, I mean, I know they did, but I forgot that they had Lord of the Rings.
And they still failed.
Yeah.
So bad shit happens to studios, and eventually you take a huge loss, you can be gone.
I don't want to see people lose their jobs because people are fucking stupid and hard-headed. It's ridiculous to keep dumping money into something that's...
Who the fuck thought Pan was a good idea?
No, I don't know.
Man from U.N.C.L.E., a fucking darker Peter Pan remake. They're doing a Jungle Book. And one just came out, and they're doing their own version, Warner Brothers.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Another one. And despite the fact that I just want a fucking DC movie to be good. So I mean, I said at the last podcast, okay, the Wonder Woman, the trailer looks okay. I kind of want to see this, but I mean, the word on the set is that it's a fucking mess. They've already lost one director. They've got a second director in. This open letter states that word on the set is that it's a fucking nightmare. So we have Man of Steel underperformed, BVS a fucking nightmare, Suicide Squad a fucking nightmare, and Wonder Woman potentially a fucking nightmare. How much more money are these people gonna get to fuck this shit up and cause people to keep losing their jobs? It's not just fanboys going home butthurt because they didn't get a good movie. It's not just arguing over, well, you just don't like the dark vision of Snyder. No, it's it's jobs, people.
Yes.
It's not just you're not you're taking it. No, there's real ramifications to shitty movies.
Suicide Squad did gangbusters the first weekend. August record 133 million. We're not going to dispute that.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The marketing was fucking insane for that movie.
Right.
It had to have done well.
Right.
I'm gonna say the marketing. I'm not an expert on this, but for a movie that big, the budget was 175 million for Suicide Squad, which is like, holy shit. 175 million. I'm gonna say the marketing budget was probably 125 to 150. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
I was gonna say 125. It was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere.
And actually, I liked the marketing. I liked the graphical style. I thought the marketing for it looked good.
Well, so let's just say that was 300 million. So with our math, our simple math, remember that means usually, at least domestically, studios take about half of the ticket sales. Less overseas, remember that. It's usually less, especially like in Asia. We're not going to get into that. We'll just say this has to at least make, to break even, 600 million. So while it was impressive, exactly, a Suicide Squad movie to break even has to make $600 million. Now you see how insane this is. The point, I didn't realize it even cost 175 million. That's insane. Remember, Deadpool only cost about 70 or 75, and that it's a lot different. 75, 175.
Right.
That's 100 million plus the budget on top of that for marketing. So it's at 471 worldwide right now. It's got to do another 130 million to get there. I don't see that happening, or it's going to barely break even, or make a little bit of money. This isn't. The point is, these movies aren't making money. They're in the red on all these movies. This is their tentpole pictures, and this is their DC universe, and the movies are not making fucking money.
Can we just
That's bad news.
Can we pack it up and fast forward to the Ben Affleck Batman movie, please? Can we just do that?
Are we gonna get there? If the Wonder Woman movie doesn't make any money either, at some point, if these movies don't make money, you got to cut your losses.
No, and that's the conversation I've had with so many people. I just feel like a Batman movie is something that's going to get made at some point, and I feel like I have nothing else to say.
This isn't just like, you guys don't want these movies to succeed. I would love for there to be a DC universe like the Marvel universe, where we are 8 years into it, and every fucking movie has been a financial success, and about 90% have been critical successes. The worst Marvel movies are like Thor 2 and Iron Man 2, and those still aren't like awful movies. They're just like boring, average movies. You know, but at least they're making money so the universe can still exist. So that we can get a fucking Black Panther movie. To think there's going to be a Black Panther movie coming out. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is coming out next year, we forget.
Yeah.
That's going to make $1 billion fucking dollars, that movie.
Yep.
That's going to make tons of money. You know, it's just insane to think about that DC can't even get their main characters right.
Well, that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Because DC is really screwing their head on straight, because there's still a possibility that we might get a Man of Steel 2. So don't worry. Don't worry. They're going to fucking fix everything with Man of Steel 2. They're going to get that character right eventually.
Oh, is that what they said? What was the quote for that Man of Steel 2?
Oh, I don't even remember. I mean, I watched it and I read it, and all it was to me was just words hitting my fucking dead face. As they talked about how they really just wanted to do it again, and it was just...
Warner Brothers has reportedly placed a sequel to Man of Steel in active development. According to The Wrap, DC has been silent on a sequel to Man of Steel featuring Superman Solo, leading many frustrated fanboys to believe that another film wasn't going to happen. But a person close to the project told The Wrap that Superman is a top priority to the studio, and, in quote, getting the character right for audiences is of tantamount importance.
So we're already talking about rewriting characters mid-universe.
3 movies in, they're realizing they haven't gotten the character right.
They have to rewrite the character. That's
3 movies in.
That's what getting it right means. That we have to completely change the tone of the character.
So in Man of Steel, you have he wasn't totally morose in Man of Steel, but he was sort of like, oh, should I do this? My dad doesn't want... He lets his fucking dad die in a tornado. That pisses me off in that movie.
Lets his dad die in a tornado, destroys a city, and breaks Zod's neck.
Which, actually, the breaking neck was the least of my concerns.
That was the least of my concerns,
Absolutely not. It was the wanton destruction of the city, which you can say, well, he couldn't help it. Well, he was even trying to not help
You
it.
don't owe them anything, Clark. Granted, that wasn't from Man of Steel, but that was, I think that was in the BVS trailer.
And then in BVS, you have a Superman that's end of the fucking world, sad, grim. According to, sorry, I haven't seen it. Don't want to see it.
Don't give a fuck.
Has about 15 lines throughout the entire film, apparently. It's not really a Superman movie. It's more of a Batman movie getting revenge, you know. And now you have a movie where they're finally going to get it right after all this time. Plus, you're going to have grim, dark Superman coming back from the dead. Spoilers in Justice League. So that's not really Superman, because that's...
Oh, they already said it in the IGN thing that we... there was like a video that we watched that was linked in the Man of Steel 2 thing. They're like, and you can catch Superman next in the Justice League. And it's like, of course you can.
But that's not going to be the Superman we know and love. That's going to be Rise from the Dead Superman, too. So it's going to be like the long-haired version with the silver black suit that no one gives a shit about.
Can we stop?
No.
Can we just stop? We're done.
We're done?
We're done.
We're done.
We're done with this topic.
So this is going to come out...
No.
This is going to come out either... It's slated for October 5th, 2018 or November 1st, 2019. Because remember, Justice League's not going to be split into 2 movies anymore. It's going to be 1 movie. So, maybe because they want Zack Snyder gone. By the way, we kept Zack Snyder's name out of that whole conversation about the open letter from Gracie Law. You pretty much didn't even mention Zack Snyder that much, did we?
Oh, the rape glorifier?